Good morning, everyone. I wanted to welcome you to a statement about our Montgomery County Public Schools operating budget for fiscal year 2015. And wanted to read a statement and then open it up to our county executive as well as some of my council members. In addition, the superintendent and our president and vice president of the Board of Education for any comments they have. But let me just start off by saying this. This is a great day for Montgomery County. This is a great day for Montgomery County Public Schools, a great day for the future in terms of protecting the innovation and what we're really trying to achieve within our school walls. Today, I'm pleased to announce a funding plan for the fiscal year 2015 MCPS operating budget that fully meets the Board of Education's request. The Council has developed this plan in collaboration with Board President Kauffman, Vice President O'Neill, Superintendent Starr, and the County Executive. All of us are committed to investing in our students, focusing on the achievement gap, and maintaining MCPS's position as a national leader in education. This plan provides the needed resources to do just that. The plan fully funds the board's fiscal year 2015 educational request by repurposing excess reserves for current retiree health benefits while protecting support for future benefits in the council's fiscal year 15 through 20 fiscal plan. In addition, the plan fully funds the board's fiscal year 2015 technology modernization request in both the operating and capital budgets. This plan achieves multiple goals by making judicious use of both new county resources and excess reserves. Going forward, we will, as we do every single year, work with MCPS to address future enrollment growth, negotiated agreements, and strategic investments to make sure that we are focusing and improving on student achievement. I want to again thank all of my colleagues, every single one of us here on the County Council, and we're being joined by Councilmember Riemer as well, but every single one of my council colleagues was a proponent in making sure that this happened. Our stakeholders throughout the MCPS school system, not only leadership, but unions, parental supports, all on the same page working together. And so I just want to thank everybody for the collaborative spirit that allowed this to happen. And so with this, I'll turn it over to our county executive and then to our school leadership and then other council members for any comments. County Executive Leggett.
Thank you, President Rice, and thank all of you for being here today. Let's make sure that we fully understand and appreciate the enormous work that the council president and his staff have put in to make all of this happen. As you know, I sent a budget over that had a slightly different approach to this, but we accept this and we're going to work to make sure that this whole process works well for us. But in order for it to work well, we have to be realistic about the challenges for the future. As President Rice has indicated, we continue to have increased enrollments. We continue to have challenges in the school system related to closing the achievement gap, negotiated agreements that are coming forth. And I want to make certain that we are clear and focused about our future agenda as well as today. My intent would be to try to fund those and to make sure that we continue the progress that we have thus far. This agreement keeps all of that in place, albeit at a slightly higher level for next year. But if we are committed to making certain that we not only do the right thing for this year, but for the future years, then I think that we can get there. And that's my commitment, and that's my understanding as we move forward. Again, I want to congratulate all the parties who have been so actively engaged in this. We're going to make this work because our kids and our school system needs this kind of funding in order to achieve all the things that are included in the budget. Thanks again for the school system, the board, MCA, and all of those who've worked to make sure that we have this exciting day today. Thank you.
Can I raise this? So I can duck. You can hear me, right? Yeah. So I want to thank the county council members and especially the Ed Committee and the great leadership of Council President Craig Rice. It is a wonderful thing to be able to go to our teachers, our support professionals, our administrators, our parents and kids and say we will have the money that we need to continue to prepare our kids to thrive in their future while also narrowing and ultimately eliminating the long-standing achievement gaps that we've had. I very much appreciate the recognition that we have a multi-year plan to do just that, to help our kids thrive in their future, to be prepared for a very different world while also addressing the great needs that we have in our community. And this solution that the Council President has put forth and the Council has supported will enable us to just do that, make sure that we have a multi-year process, as as County Executive just referenced, and we know that if we continue this collaborative effort, if we continue to sit around the table and make sure that we understand all the needs that we have, both of our kids and of the taxpayers that we do have a sacred trust with, we'll be able to continue to fund Montgomery County Public Schools in ways that our kids and our families and our community so deserve. So thank you very much.
So on behalf of my colleagues on the board, I'd like to thank Council President Rice for working so closely with us to finalize our budget funding this year. Mrs. O'Neill, Dr. Starr, and I know that leading the budget process is never an easy one, and we appreciate the careful attention you have given to MCPS. We appreciate the Council's commitment to Montgomery County Public Schools in providing the resources we need to fund our fiscal year 2015 operating budget request. We know that it's always challenging to meet the many needs of our community when resources are limited. Under the Council President's leadership, the Council, the County Executive, the Superintendent, and the Board are working closely together and building the trust necessary to meaningfully collaborate on challenging issues. The Council knows that MCPS is critical to our community's future, and we know that they want to continue to provide the investments necessary to make sure our children have every opportunity to succeed. We look forward to continuing our collaboration on behalf of our 151,000 students. Thank you.
So I'd like to turn to my colleagues on Education Committee first, and then to the other council colleagues as well if they have any comments.
Good morning. The demographics of the school are changing. The enrollment continues to increase. Now is not the time to cut funding. However, we also have to realize, recognize, and understand that the achievement gap must be resolved. With less money, that's going to be difficult. But I hope, I voted for this budget in committee because I believe that the only way to make sure that the achievement gap is resolved is with sufficient funding. Thank you.
I want to thank Council President Rice for his leadership in putting together this budget. The biggest challenge of any council president is the budget each year, and the biggest part of the budget each year is the Montgomery County Public School budget. So it is always front and center, and the challenge is to provide the needed resources for our school system in a way that's fiscally responsible and that doesn't lock taxpayers in year after year, and that has been achieved with this proposal because it sticks to the maintenance of effort level but finds resources for the school system that will enable it to do what it needs to do. As Councilmember Branson talked about, we all want to see progress. I know that's true for everyone in the room in raising the bar as well as closing the gap and ensuring that all students in our county are successful. And there's lots of things that have to be done to achieve that. But Council President Rice, you have found a way to strike the right balance, to do so in a fiscally responsible way, to not lock taxpayers into $260 million over the next decade, had we gone above maintenance of effort. So I applaud you. I applaud all the collaborative effort that is evidenced here. Thanks to all of the partners in this decision, and this is a good day. We can move forward.
I'm not on the Ed Committee, but I've been fully briefed, and I have to say this is all about teamwork. This is what you see here, people who are committed to our kids and committed to our most important asset, which is Montgomery County Public Schools. I just want to applaud the school system, the unions, the PTAs, as well as the council president and the county executive who found a way to make this work. We are all in this together. We're going to move forward together, and I think it's just terrific for our community to understand that we are a team. That's what matters to the community. That's what matters to the kids. So I thank you all for being part of this really important decision.
Councilmember Riemer.
Thank you. There's a lot of important initiatives in this budget and the school board request that I'm really glad that we can fund. First, of course, is the new contract for our educators, which is really an important one for them to feel that they're valued in the classroom. And it's not just a one-year contract, so we're going to be right back at it next year, making sure we get that funding secured again. But there are also a lot of new initiatives like ESOL teachers. We have an explosion of young people in our schools for whom English is not their first language, and ESOL is the bridge for them to succeed and thrive in the classroom. We've recently had a great study by our council staff about the achievement gap in our high schools. Well, there's initiatives in this request for smaller class sizes in our more challenged high schools. There's a new incentive program for teachers who are in the high poverty schools and for whom it's really, they shoulder a great burden to stay in those schools, and they need to know that the school system is valuing them and recognizes their effort. And there's a new program that allows them to innovate and come up with new projects and ideas, and I think that's very, very meritorious. So it's important that we are able to fund those initiatives this year, and I want to thank the council president and the school board and the school superintendent for their support for this initiative. This is an important step forward. Thank you.
Well, first, I want to thank President Craig Rice for his leadership, and I want to thank other council members and the county executive for helping us to meet the needs of the public school system. We're grateful, and I hope that this enters into a new era of collaboration among all parts of county government. I look forward to our ongoing discussions, and I know that we have assurances that next year's challenges and needs will be met in the same spirit of cooperation. So thank you for getting the job done for our children.
Well, thank you very much. And one of the last things I wanted to close on is recognizing some of my colleagues who couldn't be with us today, Councilmembers Berliner, Elrich, Leventhal, and Navarro. This was a collaborative effort, and I appreciate all of my colleagues and stakeholders in their compliments, but I believe a true leader only leads when everybody's at the table and we're all working together. And so that's the way I've tried to carry this year in the spirit. I continue to do so and hope that this is just a representative of many great things to come for this county. So thank you very much, folks. Thank you.
Question. This is for both County Executive Leggett and Councilmember Andrews. You both were quite outspoken in hammering your opponent in the primary, Doug Duncan, about unsustainable spending. Doesn't this agreement use one-time dollars for ongoing expenditures, and how is that sustainable?
Look, the maintenance of effort law is the problem in terms of sustainability, and the major provision in this agreement that addresses that is that it sticks to the maintenance of effort requirement rather than exceeding it. That is what locks taxpayers into future obligations. The school system has the latitude to spend these resources in a variety of ways, including for one-time uses. That is the way that the budget relationship has been established by state law between the county and the school system. And so essentially the county writes a check and the school system decides how to spend it. The school system has a lot of latitude there to use it for continuing costs or for one-time investments. But had the county, if the county were to go above the maintenance of effort level, then we are locked into that continuing costs of $26 million a year for indefinitely.
Well, as you know, I said a budget that I believe was very well sustainable. This makes some adjustments. Even in my budget, there was a challenge for future years. But if you keep in mind that this is not just an isolated portion of the budget. My budget included maintaining the revenues that we had already in the budget. It included also expenditures that may be added to this particular budget outside of education. So if you take my revenue projections, my expenditures overall, the budget was sustainable. This adds a little bit more to that, but even under my budget, there was some level of, quote, makeup that you had to make up in the future years. My view is that given the reserves that we had, the revenues I predicted in my budget, as well as not including some additional items outside of education, it was quite sustainable. So this adds to that, but as I indicated before, if people are prepared next year to come back to make those adjustments, we could continue on the level of sustainability.
Yeah, again, what are people going to get in this budget that the council and the executive have come up with this extra money? What are they getting that they wouldn't otherwise see in their classrooms?
So again, we have put forward a multi-year plan to do two things. One is to ensure that our teachers, our sport professionals, our leaders are well prepared to help our kids reach a very new standard. So it's new curriculum and new professional development that we've put in place, really investing in teacher leadership because our teachers really know their kids and they know their subject. And we know that whether it's the SATs, whether it's advanced placement, whether it's just the state test, all that has changed. And we have to prepare our kids for that world. So we're investing heavily in that. We also know, as was mentioned earlier, that there are some schools where there are just great needs, and we have to reduce class sizes in math and in literacy in our high schools, something that we've done. We have a long-standing commitment to in our elementary schools, and we're rolling up to middle and high schools. We have to invest in more resources for our English as a second language children. We have a new program in collaboration with our Teachers Union, MCEA, to incentivize our best teachers to stay in or transfer to our toughest schools and take on new work, and we really want to rely on that. We have new investments in our community engagement work, some really fabulous things that we've been doing under Tim Warner's leadership to reach out to and work with our community. So there's a range of things that both continue what we've been doing, but also deepening it and strengthening all of the initiatives that we've had to prepare our kids to thrive in their future and also address long-standing persistent gaps.
A question for Mr. Rice and the county executive. I think it was one of the taxpayer groups who had urged you not to, and this is a quote, pander to the education budget. Did you do that here?
I would say no. And I think that it's very important for us to understand that we, as legislators, always prioritize based on the needs of our constituents. That's our responsibility, and to do so in a fiscally responsible way. That's the reason why my statement was that I think that we achieved the best of both results. We're being fiscally prudent while also addressing the needs of our community, which were very strong in saying that we wanted to have, as Councilmember Branson said, a very strong statement about us addressing the achievement gap and supporting many of the innovations. Keep in mind that I want folks at home to understand, while the achievement gap couldn't be one of the most important things for our school system, there are many other important things that are involved as well. Making sure that Montgomery County is able to still innovate and be competitive as we see the ratcheting up of school systems, not only nationwide, but globally. And as we become more globally competitive, we've got to focus on that. And so, it would be wise of us, it was County Executive Leggett who actually said that MCPS is the crown jewel of Montgomery County. Well, if it's the crown jewel, we've got to treat it like that.
Well, if I wanted to pander, I would have put in $51 million over maintenance of effort. I didn't do that. There were some within the education community who believed that I didn't go far enough. I believe what I did was responsible, and I looked at that in a comprehensive way with the resources this year and next year. But this is about how we move forward. My budget would have had a gap to be filled next year. This makes it slightly higher, but if we are prepared to, make sure we have the resources in place, and there are some differences in resources. I would not reduce, for example, the energy tax. I would not do that because it makes the future challenge even worse. I probably would not expend some in other areas and so forth. So the pandering would be that you've gone 51 over. I didn't do that. I went 26 over. But at this point in time, we need to find a way in which to move forward that achieves the objectives that we have, and I think this is a way in which to do it. I would have preferred doing it my way, but this is an acceptable way, and we can make this work.
lastly, just a numbers figure, when we keep talking about maintenance of effort, what's that dollar figure of maintenance of effort?
So the exact number, we meet the state's requirement for maintenance of effort this year. So if you're asking what the number is above maintenance of effort, the number above maintenance of effort is 0. All right, folks, well, thank you very much.